beef up local law enforcement.
Overcast skies to begin our work week, and yes, we are still going to hold on to a little bit of rain all the way really until Wednesday or Thursday. We'll have the latest in the Skywatch Weather Center.
And why Judge Katanji Brown Jackson is expected to be a little closer to sitting on the nation's highest court.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Tomorrow, voters in Berry County, Missouri will decide on a sales tax increase. It's a vote to support the growing needs of the county's sheriff department. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, Election Tuesday is nearly upon us. And today we break down a ballot proposal for a sales tax increase in Berry County. Sheriff Danny Boyd says competitive pay is tough across any industry, but especially in law enforcement. Sheriff Boyd says there are 2 municipalities in Berry County that pay more than his department. His goal is to offer comparable wages and hopefully attract more qualified officers. Sheriff Boyd says getting back to full staff is a priority.
I'd like to go beyond that. If this passes, we'll be able to do that, because right now we usually have 2 officers on per shift. We would like to have 3 per shift. That gives us better coverage for the county, which is better response time, and it's better protection for the citizens of Berry County.
Sheriff Boyd says the bond would also pay for new training and equipment, including firearms, body cameras, and tasers. Sales tax proposal is a half-cent tax increase, and that amounts to 50 cents for every $100 spent. The county says it could generate $2 million a year. Well, we are getting a little break in the rain, but for how long? Michael Hayslip joins us with the first look at the forecast.
Well, Tanya, you bring up a great point too with Election Tuesday just around the corner. Key factor is for those of you that have elections going on in your area, make sure you have the umbrella. It's not going to be one of those that's elongated. We get sporadic periods of it now and then. And as Tanya alluded to, outside of Television City, we've even seen a peak of blue sky every now and then. Now, certainly not enough to warm us up, but at least we're staying on the dry side right now. That is not the case everywhere, as we actually do have some rain still coming down throughout portions of the 4 states, especially along and south of I-44. There we see it throughout northeast Oklahoma, moving across the state line, just skirting McDonald County and going to make its way into northwest Arkansas. Imagine this kind of as your dividing line. For the most part, everything's going to stay in the central and southern portions of the 4 states today. And then as we get into Election Tuesday, like Tanya was telling us, then we get a little northerly push to it throughout southwest Missouri. We're void of any lightning, so we'll call that a good thing. And the majority of the heavy rain, indicated there in the yellow, staying along I-40 and pretty much tracking to the east. We haven't seen a whole lot of northeasterly push to it. No advisories, watches, or warnings, so we'll call ourselves lucky in that aspect. Our temperatures, usually we want to top out in between, say about 2:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon. Not going to have much of a change right here. We're going to go high 50s, low 60s throughout the afternoon, simply because the sun really not going to have a chance to make that much of an effect. As we see the jet stream split the 4 states right in half, that's why that rain remains below those lines right there. It is a split jet coming out of the Pacific Northwest. Cooler temperatures in the upper plains. Ours are going to be a little bit below normal for the most part as we get into the middle of the week. But eventually, I tell you what, if you have weekend plans, we are in luck. This right here, nothing severe. It is going to keep popping up though, all the way into the evening hours. Break for Tuesday morning. But look at what develops here Tuesday evening. This is when we see a line of thunderstorms that begin to form up. As those roll through, that's going to be a little bit more intense rain. Tanya, coming up here in just a little bit, let's talk about what we can expect as far as our accumulation numbers up until, say, Wednesday, Thursday, and then break down our weekend, because we are going to be absolutely perfect on Saturday and Sunday.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to a great weekend, and we can make it through this rain.
Did you see what I did right there? I just went glass half full on you.
I know. I didn't really know how to react. I like it. It's a good Monday. We'll take it. Thanks, Michael. Well, Judge Katanji Brown Jackson is expected to be one step closer to becoming the first African-American woman to be a Supreme Court justice. Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
The Senate Judiciary Committee has begun debate on Judge Katanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court.
This committee's action today is nothing less than making history. I'm honored to be part of it. I will strongly and proudly support Judge Jackson's nomination.
Republicans on the committee have said Judge Jackson's judicial philosophy makes her unqualified to take the bench.
First time I've ever voted against any Supreme Court nominee. So why am I voting no? On our side, we like judges to be bound by the written letter of the law.
But Republicans don't have the votes to block her nomination from moving forward. The full Senate vote is expected to fall largely along party lines, but at least one Republican says she'll vote to confirm Judge Jackson.
In the end, I decided that she had the qualifications, the experience, and the credentials that we require of a Supreme Court justice and warranted my support.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he expects the full Senate to vote by the end of the week. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Senate is on spring break from April 11th through the 22nd. Ukrainian officials say they found more than 400 civilian bodies in towns around the capital of Kyiv. We want to warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing to some. Condemnation of Russia is growing after it appears Russian soldiers left behind hundreds of civilian bodies in the streets. Some of the bodies had their hands tied behind their backs. Russia denies responsibility and says the photos were staged. Ukraine's president calls it genocide, and some Western countries are calling for more sanctions. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, the big dance comes to an end tonight in New Orleans. We take you there for a preview of the big game. Here we're making a Steakhouse onion quiche in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. South Carolina Gamecocks led from start to finish to win the NCAA women's basketball title. They defeated UConn last night to claim their second championship in 5 years. The men's title will be decided tonight when Kansas plays North Carolina. The Tar Heels knocked off arch rivals Duke on Saturday, ending Coach K's brilliant career with the Blue Devils. CBS's Dana Jacobson was there, and she joins us from Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, site of the men's Final Four.
The confetti rained down on the South Carolina Gamecocks. Their dominant run through March Madness capped with a championship trophy.
Today we're national champions. Happy tears, Holly. Happy tears.
South Carolina and Coach of the Year Dawn Staley won their first national title since 2017 and their second in school history, beating a Huskies team whose head coach, Gino Auriemma, had never lost in his 11 previous national title game appearances.
Our team had the fight of champions all season long.
Now, all eyes are on the men's side.
Gives Duke the lead by 1.
A thrilling back-and-forth battle between bitter foes Duke and North Carolina came down to the wire Saturday night.
Top of the key. Big time delivery. The shot of the night.
That dagger helped knock the Blue Devils out of the Final Four and Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski into retirement.
I've said my entire career, I wanted my seasons to end where my team was either crying tears of joy or tears of sorrow, because then you knew that they gave everything.
As Coach K's career ends, that of North Carolina coach Hubert Davis is just beginning, the fifth coach to make the title game in his first season. His Tar Heels facing a hungry Kansas team and Coach Bill Self, aiming for their first national title since 2008.
Congratulations.
He's been there before.
Exactly. Well, you've been there as an assistant.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Very different,
Much different.
though. What is that, though, the difference of being here and knowing this is your team?
It's not my team. This is Carolina's team, and I've always believed that.
Bill, for you, it is different. How is the third trip different than the other two?
We haven't approached it like there's pressure to win. We've approached it like, God, it's great to be here, and hey, now's the time where we go try to close the door.
If North Carolina can pull out the win, the Tar Heels will become the lowest seed to win the men's title since fellow 8th seed Villanova did it back in 1985. Dana Jacobson, CBS News, New Orleans.
It's going to be a fun night. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
No more boring quiche. Once you find out a basic trick that'll have you saying, ooh, it's so good.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
every now and then, and really for the next 72 hours, we're going to get a break from our rain at sporadic times, even some blue sky trying to present itself over 7th and Rangeline. But I do tell you what, as far as what we're watching for, don't go anywhere without the umbrella. Now, it's a little bit deceiving. We're not going to get a whole lot of thunder and lightning with this week, but it is going to be quite a bit of a wet one as our periodic showers have already started and going to last all the way into Wednesday. Cooler to end the week as well. You're not going to want to miss us on Thursday and Friday, especially if you spent last weekend that was so delightful outside with a garden or getting your plants ready, because we even have the chance for some early April frost to represent itself. We want to make sure all those plants get through it. And finally, they're going to warm back up and have a delightful looking weekend. Just got to get there first because we still have some, like I said, sporadic rain coming down on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Now, as far as our breakdown day-wise go, imagine, let's use Pittsburgh, or the Frontenac-Pittsburgh area as our dividing line. I just say that just because Pittsburgh right there in the central portion of the map, and you can stretch it as far as southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri as you'd like. Monday and Tuesday, the majority of the precipitation going to stay south of that line, and then as we work into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll see more of it to the northern portion of that line. Fact of the matter is, we'll all end up with about anywhere from, say 1.25 to 1.5 inches of rain by the time we wrap things up on Wednesday evening. 58 degrees over 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Our temperatures really haven't budged since we got about, say about 6, 7 o'clock this morning. We've been very, very stagnant, but very mild for this time of year as well, instead of slipping down into the 40s. Majority of the rain right now, dominating portions of northeast Oklahoma, just to the south of our highlighted counties, seeing some heavy rain as well as this moves off to the east. We see it invading into McDonald County, northwest Arkansas as well. These are more so like sprinkles or drizzle that we're seeing for Labette and Crawford and Cherokee County. That will continue to move across the state line. This really shouldn't affect any outdoor activity because I know we're getting to that time of year where we've got baseball, softball, track, the entire nine. I know that everybody, including parents, fans, coaches, and grandparents, are going to be eyeballing this radar to see if we can squeeze things in. So really, it's going to be down to the south here where we'll probably see the majority of those fields taking in the most water for today. As far as what we have, go back about 24 hours ago when you see these little slices of green, that's going to be in excess of 1 inch. Everybody else standing at about 1/10 to 1/4. But this right here in particular, that northern portion of Vernon County that's already above 1 inch, remember, that's the Little Osage and the Marmonton rivers. We do not have any flood advisories out as of yet, but that is definitely something we'll eyeball, especially with the additional rain headed our way for Tuesday into Wednesday. Temperatures in between, say about 55 and 62, so not too bad, but average this time of year, we'd be about 66. We're not going to quite get there. Big split jet stream coming out of the Pacific Northwest really doesn't combo until you get off to the Atlantic, so it takes one batch of precipitation, takes it with the Gulf moisture, then the dry air coming out of Canada. That just means super cold for them for that first week of April. For us, not too bad. We'll go low 60s, even drop down to the 50s here in the middle of the week. But then overnight, we're able to escape anything close to the freezing mark. You'll notice not really a big drop in temperatures. Tuesday night, that's going to be the big factor because sporadically it hits from Monday through Tuesday. And then Tuesday evening, watch this line begin to develop. Top left-hand portion of your screen. That's some good old-fashioned April thunderstorm activity that's going to roll in. That instability on the backside of it. Cooler temperatures up here. I mean, look at that, 75, 80, 70. I mean, Tuesday's temperatures are going to be great. But once that combos and that instability kicks in, it's going to take us from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with thunderstorm activity. That's why we set that dividing line right there and said for the latter half of the week, it'll be up to the north. Clear out on Wednesday, cold front follows. 50s on Thursday and Friday. That's why we talked about the frost. But Tanya, look at this weekend. 61 on Saturday, 74 on Sunday.
I can't complain about that. That's perfect.
Hey, I'm telling you, this weekend is almost a mimic of what we just came off of this Saturday and Sunday, and those were two tremendous days.
Yeah, no complaints there. Gonna enjoy it. We can handle a little rain. Wish the kids could get some actual practices in, though.
Remember, the big thing is we're spread. Yeah, I know. It's
that
perfect
makes it
timing
tough.
As far as if we could just get it done in one day and try to dry out the fields and whatnot. But at least we're spreading it out over 72 hours instead of just like dropping it all in one day.
All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Matthew Smith in the U.S. Army. Joplin, Missouri native, joined the 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment, serving in Iraq in 2003. Smith earned 2 commendation medals, 2 achievement medals, and the Good Conduct Medal. To Sergeant Matthew Smith, we thank you, our 4-state hero. We take quiche to a whole new level with today's recipe. Howard shows us how to make a steakhouse onion quiche in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
With Easter and Mother's Day right around the corner, not to mention all the spring get-togethers that'll be going on, now's the time to start thinking about what we can make that's a bit different. How about a quiche? Not just a regular quiche, but one that they'll remember long after it's served. We start by lining a deep dish pie plate with a pie crust and fluting the edges. As for the cheese, rather than sticking to the basics, why not try some fun and trendy ones, which will take your quiche to a whole new level. Here we start with shredded Steakhouse onion cheddar. Top it with some cooked sirloin, then add more cheese. We finish it with a mixture of beaten eggs and half before popping it in the oven. So the next time you're in the market, try picking up cheeses like horseradish cheddar, smoked Gouda, or maybe a maple bacon cheddar to add some personality to your quiche. And when it comes out all melty and packed with flavor, top it with some onion rings and you're good to go. If you'd like the recipe for our Steakhouse onion quiche, as well as our buffalo wing quiche and our champagne mushroom quiche that's made with champagne cheddar, simply visit our website and type in Fancy Dancy Quiche. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a new and creative way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
The buffalo wing one sounds enticing. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Temperatures stuck where they are for the duration of our Monday. Scattered rainfall, especially for the southern portion of the 4 states, die off overnight, and then get ready for the central and northern portion to get you around tomorrow morning. Dow and Tanya, just a quick aside here, because we have family and friends that live so close. Want everybody to check on family and friends, southern Oklahoma, North Texas, and central and southern Arkansas tonight. It's going to get a little bit hairy down there tonight. So if you have family and friends down there, please go ahead and check up on them.
Good advice.
All right, what do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, spirituality has been shown to have benefits for physical and mental health. Now, new research finds being spiritual may help heart failure patients. We're going to have that story in Health Watch. Plus, the Joplin City Council meets tonight, and one of the items before them is a recruitment incentive program for police officers. We're going to hear from the JPD on what the program is and how it could benefit the department. And a look at ballot questions facing residents in Oklahoma and Missouri. Join us for those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.